Pour a dime-sized amount of cleanser into the palm of your hand. Rub both hands together to create a foamy lather. Massage the product into your skin using gentle circular motion. Rinse the product from your face under lukewarm water or with a warm towel.
It's been quiet for a while now. Too quiet, some fans would say. After the explosive exits, the tearful confessions, and the silent treatment she gave to the cameras, everyone thought they had Melody Shari figured out. They assumed she was licking her wounds in private. They thought she was done raising her voice, done fighting battles on social media, and honestly, done being the strong friend we all love to root for. But just when you thought the book was closed on this chapter, Melody Shari just confirmed her future plans. And I mean, she really confirmed them. Not through a shady subtweet, not through a mysterious quote on an Instagram story that disappears in 24 hours. She sat down, looked the world in the eye, and dropped a bombshell that has left even her most loyal supporters completely shocked.
Yes! You look gorgeous. Come on, Bob. Okay. You all look so beautiful.
What nobody expected was that the woman who walked away from the chaos isn't coming back to fix anything. She's coming back to build something entirely new. And the direction she's choosing, it's not the reunion special everyone wanted. It's not the tell-all book dripping with revenge. It's something so much deeper, so much more personal, that it might just change how you see her forever. Let's get into the story.
Stress level hasn't been where I would like for it to be when it comes to you.
And I'm trying to do everything that I can.
I don't like late gym nights. Figure that part out where you don't have to go to the gym at night.
Before we get to that jaw-dropping announcement, we have to go back, because to understand why Melody's next move is shaking the table, you have to remember the weight she's been carrying for years. When we first met Melody Shari, she wasn't just another face on reality television. She was the girl with the bright smile and the even brighter future. She was that couple goals status that made you believe in love again.
I'm gonna name my skincare line 7th Avenue. And she was like, 7th Avenue? I like the sound of that, why is that? So let me tell you guys why 7th Avenue. 7th Avenue is the street that I grew up on.
Alongside her then husband, she walked into the spotlight like she owned it, and for a while, she did. They were young, beautiful, and building an empire from the ground up. It was the kind of black love story we don't see often enough on screen. Two people grinding together, raising a family, and stacking their dreams right next to their dollar bills. But you know how the saying goes, the higher you climb, the harder the fall. And Melody's fall wasn't just hard, it was public, it was humiliating, and worst of all, it was dragged across every blog, every comment section, and every reunion stage for years.
Some of the stuff y'all be saying that was active at the time, or this was this at the time, y'all had it all wrong. But that's another conversation for another day. So anyway, another conversation for...
Behind those designer outfits and that perfect lip gloss, Melody was drowning. The cheating rumors started as a whisper, a little static in the background of their success story. But soon, that static became a scream. Her marriage, the very foundation of her brand, cracked right down the middle. And instead of being able to fix it in private, like most of us would, she had to fix it in front of a camera crew. She had to sit on a couch while a host read aloud text messages that broke her heart. She had to watch her husband's mistakes become the season's main storyline. Fans watched her cry. We watched her defend herself. We watched her try to hold on to her dignity with both hands while the whole world picked apart her pain. It was exhausting just to witness. Imagine living it.
Nothing is worth peace. Nothing at all.
Every time she tried to move forward, something pulled her back. A new rumor, a new argument with a castmate, a new betrayal from someone she thought was in her corner. Melody became the woman who couldn't catch a break. And honestly, she became the woman that a lot of toxic producers loved to poke because they knew she would react. They knew she had a temper, sure, but more than that, they knew she had a heart, and they played with it like a toy. But here's the twist that most people missed. While the world was calling her difficult, while they were labeling her as bitter or broken, Melody was learning. She was watching. She was taking notes on who really had her back and who was just there for the screen time. And then she did the unthinkable. She walked away. Not with a bang, not with a fiery argument that went viral. She just left. She left the show that made her famous. She left the circle that kept hurting her.
You didn't know that I wouldn't be okay with you still being friends with, getting off the phone with me to talk to somebody who's putting me through hell.
You say that, and that's one time.
How do you think that feels if you my
So I've
homegirl
acknowledged
and
it.
this joker's on the phone
Can I
about me
finish?
your friend?
And for months, the silence was deafening. Fans speculated that she was depressed. Others said she'd been blackballed from the industry. A few even claimed she was planning a massive comeback that would bury all her enemies in one go. But Melody didn't say a word. She posted pictures of her kids. She promoted her business quietly. She went to therapy. She prayed. She cried. And she waited. She waited until she was strong enough to speak her truth without breaking down. And now she has finally opened her mouth. But what came out wasn't a diss track. It wasn't a lawsuit. It was a plan, a mission. And that mission has fans completely divided. So what exactly did Melody Sherry confirm? Grab your headphones because this is the part that will give you chills. Melody recently sat down for a candid conversation and she didn't hold back. She confirmed that she is never, and I mean never, returning to reality TV in the way we expect. No more fighting for airtime. No more letting producers twist her words. No more sitting across from people who smile in her face and stab her in the back the second the cameras stop rolling. But that's not the shocking part. The shocking part is what she's doing instead. Melody announced that she is launching a multimedia platform dedicated entirely to mental health awareness for women of color. Let that sink in. After years of having her breakdowns turned into entertainment, she is turning her breakdown into a breakthrough. She's creating a safe space for the very thing the industry tried to exploit, her vulnerability. She revealed that she's been quietly filming a documentary series for the past 6 months. No network executives, no shady editing, just her, a camera, and real conversations with women who have survived narcissistic abuse, financial ruin, and public humiliation, just like her. Fans were shocked. They expected her to fire back at her ex. They expected her to write a book called The Real Truth, where she names names and burns bridges. But Melody took a higher road that nobody saw coming. She said, and I quote, "I spent so many years trying to prove I wasn't the monster they edited me to be. I realized I was fighting a battle that didn't exist. I don't need to prove anything anymore. I just need to protect my peace and help someone else find theirs." When those words hit the internet, the reaction was instant. Half the fans were in tears, saying they've never been prouder of a reality star in their entire lives. They saw a woman who had been dragged through the mud stand up, dust herself off, and decide to be a lighthouse instead of a victim. But the other half is angry. They're saying she's being fake. They're accusing her of using healing as a brand, the same way she used marriage and drama before. They're saying, "Melody, we didn't tune in for a therapy session. We tuned in for the mess." And that, right there, is the sad truth of our culture. Sometimes we love a person's pain more than we love their growth. The emotional toll of this decision cannot be overstated. Imagine being Melody for just one day. Imagine waking up knowing that millions of people have an opinion on whether you're allowed to be happy. Imagine having to choose between the paycheck that comes with drama and the peace that comes with walking away. That is a heavy, heavy burden. Her family has felt every bit of this pressure. Her children, who are getting older and more aware of the internet, have had to watch their mom be called every name in the book. Her closest friends have stayed up with her on nights when the online bullying got so bad she couldn't breathe. This wasn't just a career decision for Melody, it was a survival decision. She admitted in this recent confirmation that she struggled with suicidal thoughts during the peak of the backlash. She said there were mornings she didn't want to get out of bed because she felt like everything she touched turned into a headline. That is real. That is raw, and that is why this new direction is so powerful. She isn't just building a business, she is building a lifeline for the version of herself that almost drowned. And honestly, that takes more courage than any on-screen fight ever could. But here is the question everyone is asking. Is Melody really done with the drama forever, or is this just a new mask for the same old game? Knowing her history, it's complicated. On one hand, she has never been this calm. She's never been this calculated. The Melody of 2 years ago would have already released a YouTube video breaking down every single rumor. The Melody of today is letting her silence do the talking, and that is terrifying to her enemies because they can't provoke someone who refuses to be provoked. However, sources close to her say that while she's focused on the mental health platform, she hasn't closed the door on entertainment entirely. She's just rewriting the rules. The documentary she's filming? It's going to be raw. It's going to be uncomfortable. And yes, it's going to address the betrayals, but through the lens of healing, not revenge. She wants people to see the tears, but also see the morning after. She wants to show the court cases, the custody battles, the financial fights, and then show the therapy session that followed. In other words, Melody is refusing to let her trauma be the headline. She's making the healing the headline. What nobody expected was the quiet power move she just pulled. By confirming that she's focusing on advocacy, she has effectively taken away the ammunition of the blogs. They can't call her crazy anymore because she's openly discussing mental health with professionals. They can't call her a bad mother because she's documenting her journey of becoming a better parent through self-work. And they certainly can't call her bitter because she's smiling more genuinely than she has in years. Melody Shari just flipped the script on an entire industry that profits off the destruction of Black women. And the most beautiful part? She didn't raise her voice, she didn't throw a drink, she didn't write a shady caption. She just stated her future plans, plain and simple. And that clarity is the most powerful thing she has ever owned. As we wrap this up, let's be honest about what this means for us, the viewers. We have a choice to make. Do we support her evolution, or do we beg her to go back to the dysfunction because it's more entertaining? Melody is betting that there are enough people out there who want to see a comeback story, not a crash-out story. She is betting that you will click play on a documentary about healing just as fast as you would click play on a reunion fight. That is a bold bet, but if anyone knows how to beat the odds, it's her. She went from being the woman everyone loved to hate to the woman everyone hated to love. And now, she's becoming the woman we might actually need. Someone who proves that you can fall from the highest pedestal, break every bone in your body on the way down, and still choose to stand up again. Not for applause, not for a check, but because you finally realize that your peace is worth more than their opinion. So what's next for Melody Shari? She isn't fading into oblivion like some predicted, she isn't crawling back to the show that broke her, and she isn't launching a petty war with her old castmates. She is building a legacy out of her rubble. She's taking the bricks they threw at her and constructing a shelter for other women who are tired of getting hit. That is not just a comeback, that is a revolution. And whether you support her or not, you cannot ignore her, because Melody Shari just confirmed one final thing. She is no longer asking for permission to be happy, she is simply taking it. And that, right there, is the scariest and most beautiful plot twist of all. If you want to see how this documentary turns out, if you want to watch her build this foundation from the ground up, you know where to find her. She's not hiding anymore. She's just moving in a different direction, a direction called forward. And for the first time in a long time, she's walking that road alone, unbothered and completely free. Don't miss what she does next. Trust me, this story is just getting started.